Hello, my name is Thiago, and today we are going to talk about one of my personal favorite subjects over the translation and interpretation course, which is the translation of poetry. And first of all, I'd like to introduce you all to André Leverver, which was a Belgian translation theorist and whose studies were based upon the comparative literary studies. Um, just like, for example, Itamar Ibn Zohar, he theorized translation as a form of rewriting the texts, which means that any text produced on the basis of another has the intention of adapting that other text to a certain ideology or to a certain poetics, for example, usually both. He developed 7 strategies to the translation of poetry, and I'm gonna talk briefly about each one of them. The first one is the phonetic translation. This first kind of translation attempts to reproduce in the target language all phonetic features presented in the original poetry, maintaining the meaning of the original text. The second one, which is the literal translation, has its focus remained on the word itself. And unfortunately, this kind of translation will certainly present distortion about syntax and the meaning of the original text. The third one is the metrical translation. As we can infer from its name, in this type of translation, the main goal of the translator is to maintain the metrics of the original text, encompassing all its features. Meanwhile, in the poetry prose translation, um, we have a text that may result in full and incomprehensible distortion, and because of that, many translators choose to maintain the substance of the poetry, turning it into prose and ignoring mainly the metrics and sometimes the rhymes. The rhymed translation and the blank verse translation are opposed to one another, as we can see. While the first one prioritizes the rhymes and may ignore the meaning of some verses, the second one focuses on the metrics and may give up rhyme. And the last one, the seventh, is the interpretation, which resembles on the poetry prose, because since it prioritizes the message and the meaning of the poetry in spite of the structure of the poem. That's why they are correlated. And as an example, I brought an abstract of The Raven, which was written by Edgar Allan Poe, an English writer. And I also brought the translation made by Machado de Assis in the late 1800s. So as we can see in the original poem, we have a very sustained structure and with rhymes quite divided. For example, we have dreary rhyming with wary, and we have lore rhyming with door, and more, even if they don't end with the same syllables. We also have napping, tapping, rapping, which provides musicality to the poem. Meanwhile, in the translation made by Machado de Assis, we have, for example, hora, apavora, fadiga, antiga, morta, porta. Devagarinho, tais, mansinho e mais. Till 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Until the 6th verse, we have a type of rhyme that we call not intercalated. I'm sorry. So in the So in the translation made by Machado de Assis, we have interleaved rhymes until the sixth verse, and the last four we have intercalated rhymes. So as we can see, the translation brings all 7 strategies, even if one resembles more than another. So thanks, that's all. I hope you liked it.